Okay, so what's on my mind? My What's on my mind series came about as a way to just talk about different issues that sometimes I hear it on TV, sometimes I'm talking to someone, or just observe it, whether it's myself or with somebody else that I see. It's just something, I did something, I think, for instance, on being careful with our children and against molestation. Another one was watching our health and being careful with the food that we eat. So what's on my mind today? I'm sitting here on my porch in Pembroke, St. Vincent, and I was in the city. I just came from Kingstown. I was talking to a young lady. Went to do some shopping, and we are talking, and she's telling me about her elderly father. He's sick, and basically the hell that she's going through, just trying to care for him because of siblings who are fighting. So what I want to it's something that is on my mind, and I want to talk about it. How to care for our elderly parents unselfishly. When they get a certain age, stop worrying about their old house and their piece of land and trying to kill each other over it. Because at the end of the day, if somebody got it who shouldn't have gotten it, or the parent did something, you know what, they'll never get to enjoy it. That's my feeling about stuff like that. Our parents take care of us or took care of us when we were younger. And when they get older, if we're not ungrateful, we take care of them. We make sure that they're okay. We do the things that good children do. We care for them. We bathe them. We do whatever. We feed them. We make sure they have a comfortable place to live or live with us if they can. Whatever it is you do to make sure that that parent is well taken care of. But you see over and over siblings killing each other over a piece of old house. Some deadlef. Oh, mommy, you must want mommy sign over this and that for her. You want that he left this piece of land. And half the time, they're killing each other over something that's nothing but a figment of their imagination. Because they know what guilt they have based on what they're doing. So they project it onto everybody else. And you see it in families all around. And it's really a sad thing. These poor old people, they work hard to take care of their kids. If they acquire something in life, now they get old, they can't even die in peace. They can't even age in peace. They have to be worrying about kids who are trying to kill one another over who she's going to left who he's going to left that for. I mean, it's just shocking. It's just absolutely shocking. And you see it all around you. You know, brothers and sisters, families breaking up because of deadlef. Oh, Jesus God. Like, get a life, get some ambition, get your own shit. Excuse my language. I went to America when I was 20 years of age. I've been in America quite a bit now. And I'm at the point where my thing is when I went there as a pioneer in my family, I made sure that I paved the way for others. Not so much send this and send that, but pave the way for others. After that, my job is done. You know, it's up to them what they do with their lives. So I got my mom and dad, and they came up to New York, and then later on my little sister, because we felt she was the baby and needed to be close to them, so she came up. And then my mom and dad was able to get the other children up, and as everybody finally got together, some people spread out. You know, we're most in the New York area. But when my parents still have, well, I should say my mom, because my dad is passed, a property here in St. Vincent. I have a property in St. Vincent. I don't want my mother's, but I don't like when I see people like they're fighting for that little piece of old house that they don't even really want. It's just acquiring stuff, and the fact that they should get it, or they should get this and they should get that. And it's shame, and they're killing each other over it. And the poor old people end up with all kind of dementia and all things, because they're stressing. Because they're stressing when they watch their kids fighting. What foolishness. The poor people are like, the poor old people, you know, they can't just, let me tell you what I like. I like when I see a family where that mom or dad, or both, are able to age with the kids taking care of them, whether it's sending money, what they need, and somebody home is taking care of them, or they're there in New York with them, they're taking care of them. And sometimes you see that family where, I know a few families where one child stayed back and took care of mom and dad physically and never left. And they'll get together and say, you know, any interest I had in that property, I'm going to sign it over to them. Because you know what? They're decent people. But more often than not, you see them killing one another over this little piece of old house or that piece of land. I thank God. I got whatever properties I have enough where my two children, unless they're just crazy, they ain't going to be fighting over that shit. And you know what I did too? And I don't think a lot of people know about this. I don't have the scientific or the legal, I should say, the legal terminology for it. But there's a clause that you can put in your will that forces your children not to fight with each other. Not that they can't fight, but they're not going to want to risk fighting, because if one try to fight the other and they lose, one is going to win, one is going to lose. The one who loses forfeit everything to the other person. My daughter's an attorney. She could probably, if she was here, tell me the legal term. And I put that in my will, and I always update my will very often, because things change, you know. My children, you know, they live lovingly with each other, but sometimes it has to do with an in-law, like somebody that comes into the picture and influences one of them. And all of a sudden they start fighting, and what you said doesn't make any sense to them. And it's really shameful when you see that happening. So my hope is that when the good Lord called me to the great beyond, that my children will continue to live loving with each other. There's enough for both of them to be okay. And that's the end of that. And I pray that that is how that happens. But you see it in families, man. This poor lady, as she was talking to me, tears were coming down her eyes, you know, streaming down her face, because she wants to take care of the dad, and the other sibling is like just really giving her a hard time, being suspicious that she might be the one end up with the house. And she's like, I got a house. I don't want the house. And my only problem is that, you know, this person is there, and instead of trying to take care, at least on your salt, if you want the house, take care of the dad and get the house, you know? Because to me, I always say, even if I was my mother, let's say my mom had 2 of us instead of 14 like she does, if let's say one sibling had stayed back and take care of her, to me, that's who I'm going to be like, just give her that part. Just give her the whole thing. I don't want it. But a lot of people don't do that. They get so fixated with getting dead. I don't know what it is that is enticing about deadlef, that people just love to fight over foolishness. And then you see them fight over it, and we all die and go leave it. You know, families where they die almost want to kill each other over some deadlef, and everybody die and leave the deadlef right there. You know what I mean? So I just want to say, just love your parents unselfishly. And remember, 20, 30 years from now, that's you if you're lucky to live long enough. So the same manipulation, the same wicked thing you're doing just to be able to control them and get what they have, and to pit them against each other, pit family against each other, and trying to do this with this one, and put this one through this because, I think she might prefer this one, or she might want to give this one something. This is going to be you down the road. The same thing you dish out to that mother or father that you're trying to manipulate because of deadlef. The same thing is going to happen to you one day. Because whatever we sow, we're going to reap it. And, you know, it just breaks my heart. It really does. Because I feel like parents, they work hard. And that's all I ever ask my children. I work hard, and, you know, people see coming up in my advanced age, you know, I'm still young enough to enjoy life, but I'm no spring chicken. I've done most of my best years are behind me. So my thing is, I work hard for what I have. My children are going to get what I have. Ain't nobody coming in my life at this stage, and I'm not looking to build a life with nobody, so I ain't trying to marry nobody. I'm not trying to move in with nobody. I'm so damn selfish right now. I can't live with nobody anyway, because I don't want you in my space. I don't want you touching too hard on me on that bed. That may sound weird, but right now it's like, I guess because I got married at a very young age. At 21, I was locked down in a marriage. And then when I got out, it took 16 years. I got out of that one, locked down again for another 10 years. So now I am in my teenager years. I am enjoying my teenagership. Let me tell you, I'm enjoying it. But when that time comes, I always say to my children, you know, I would like to retire back to St. Vincent, out of the cold, during the cold months. Not so much like a total retirement. But when I retire, I would like to come and spend the warm weather down here. I mean, the cold weather down here, from the New York weather. And then I go back up when it's warm, and I enjoy my family up there. And I tell them, when I have lost my independence, when I no longer can care for myself, then just keep me there. Then it's up to them. They're American citizens, American children. So they may choose to keep my property here as a vacation home, or they might want to sell it. But don't do it until I lose my independence, where, you know, I can't go back to St. Vincent. I can't travel. I can't, you know, I'm bedridden, you know, something like that. I'm losing my mind, you know, things like that. But, you know, I'm just giving a little thing how my head work, and how I kind of prepare myself. For those of you who have family or parents out there alive, you are so blessed Don't waste it with foolishness. You know, take care of them unselfishly, and God will bless you for it. It's not about what they have or what you can get from them, or doing something like some kids. They're so sweet to the parents to get their trust. And when that parents need them the most, when they're most vulnerable and can't do everything on their own, that's when they show their true color. To me, let a pick me, okay? And you are who have Caribbean people, pick me mean children. Let one pick me. Show me them the true colors when me still could think, because then we could plot and strategize around them, okay? Because it's a terrible thing when you see that parent trust a child and they get down in age, and that's when that child show their true colors. That is an absolute shame. We need to be better than that. We need to take care of them unselfishly. Okay, I'm going to end with that, what I started with. Take care of them unselfishly, and God will bless you. And if they even give somebody something that you felt you should have gotten, well, to me, I don't want to think for my parents. I tell them all the time. I know my mom has some land down in Trumbull because she asked me one day if I want any. I said no, because if I was to take it, I would probably sell it because I wouldn't be doing anything with it. And she has a thing about her where this land came from her grandmother, which is my great-grandmother. She don't want to sell it. She don't want strangers living there. I ain't going to live. I ain't going in here to garden. So what are you giving that to me for? I don't, but I appreciated that she said that. I just didn't want it. I don't want anything from my parents. I just want to make sure that they are doing well. They may be ill, maybe getting on their age, but when my dad was alive, I made sure I did everything that I could do for him while he was, going through his battles with his illness. My mom, I tried to do the same thing for her. I want nothing from them. I don't think it's a healthy thing when you're doing things just so you can get something. I think just do for the goodness of your heart. Take care of them. And you know what? God is going to bless you immensely. And you're going to achieve anything, much more than anything they could leave for you. So take care of them unselfishly. They deserve it. And that's you in 25, 30 years, 20, 30 years from now, if you're lucky. And whatever karma you want to come to you, give it to them. You get what I'm saying? Generate good karma. Take care of them. And God will put you with good children so they take care of you. My grandson, he says to me, Granny, I sit down and I plot how I'm going to take care of you and mommy when you all get old. She said, Granny, I love you. I love you, and I'm going to make sure I take care of you. And I know my little grandbaby. I know he means it. He's a little old soul. And I try to, get my children, make sure they're close with each other, that they have love for each other. And not just the ones I give birth to. I have two that I adopted. One that I adopted officially. Well, that's another story. But another one that I informally adopted. As a matter of fact, she's here with us. And she's here in St. Vincent. And we spend time together. And we do things together. And I tell you, when I get old, I don't know which one of them going to be handing a cup of water for me. Hold my hand to cross the street. You treat everybody good. And you do what you can do for them. And when the good Lord ready to call you home, you can go with that peace of mind, not for having children fighting and doing mean things to each other over you. It's not necessary. Take care of them. They're precious. They paved the way for us. We're looking at ourselves down the road. So do what you would like done to you. And that's what's on my mind today. Thank you.